5 games in a row, went 5-0. I mean, gotta feel great about that. I told our guys you have to give them credit. Didn't play great early, but got better as we went. Percival and Boaz had to battle a little bit. They didn't really have their command. Padgett bridged the gap extremely well. And I thought Perry Hargett obviously gave us a big spark coming off the bench and lacing a line drive and kind of loosened everybody up. And then we got some big hits and tacked on, and it was great to see Chewy make his college debut because I feel like he can help us as the season moves along. So a good stretch there. Get a day tomorrow to kind of recover a little bit and move around and try to get a lift in. We hadn't got our normal lift in this week, and then back at it 8 games, I think, in 10 days. So great win against. They always play us tough, and we just kind of lengthened that lead at the end.
5 games in 5 days. What does this not just say about the physical strength of your team, but the mental strength? Yeah,
no doubt. I feel like it's a team that can be a really good team, but that's the mentality they have to have. They have to play with something to prove. They can't get satisfied. We're not a type of team that's just going to show up and win just based on who we are. It's a team that if they work hard every day, have that old school mentality, kind of like we had in 18, then they'll be successful, and I feel like that this team has it.
The big picture, best start since the 13 World Series team on the first 16. I mean, how impressive is that?
It's 2 statements you've made about 2 teams that I like. One about 18, we had not hit a home run. That team went to Omaha. And then 13, it's a bold comparison. That team, at one point, I want to say it was like 40-4. But yeah, I mean, you want to start great. As cliche as this may sound, I know y'all know that I'm a huge Nick Saban person, and I am. I'm not going to hide from it, and I believe that outcomes are dangerous, and I don't get caught up in a winning streak. Try not to let our team or our staff even talk about it. We'll wake up tomorrow and we'll do the same thing we've been doing and try to get better.
Decision to play Perry today.
You know what? I've been telling the coaches, I feel like I need to get Perry in there. He's an everyday player at this level. So he had a good preseason. He's a dynamic player. He is a true freshman. I like him better in the outfield than I do on the infield. And I just felt like, okay, I almost started him today, but then the 3-0 swing, I felt like Sam had been pressing really hard, and I just deep down felt like that was a good opportunity to get him in there, and it worked out, and that's a credit to Perry. If you don't have a good attitude and, you're not in it for the right reasons for the team, you don't have that result, which he had, and he's a great teammate. He's a leader. That's going to be a leader in our program. He's a dynamic player. I think he's going to be a true center fielder one day. So that was really good to see because the more depth you have, the better.
If you slide him in the field, I guess, left field.
Yeah, that would be where. We were joking with Tyson Bass. He struggled some offensively, but, man, he's been so good defensively. But we almost lost him for the year because the ball about hit him in the forehead. But he lost it in the lights. But, it gives us a little more speed. I think if I start Perry, he will be on the field, most likely in left field.
And you said the home runs would come, and you finally broke through. Now, 5 in 4 games, so it's rolling.
Yeah, and I still feel like Rom is not where we know he can be, or Bass or Rom don't have a home run. So it's just a matter of time. I feel like we can have power throughout the order. I almost made one lineup change today. I talked about it yesterday, and I didn't, but I will. But, I think we're going to hit doubles and home runs. But I also think we can, if we don't, I feel like we can steal some bases. And then you add Perry Hargett in that mix, you got a guy that can also steal bases.
What'd it say about your pitching depth that you can go 5 games in 5 days and win them all?
It says a lot about it. And it also says a lot about our defense. Now, early we gave them some – I thought the play of the game, honestly, was we put a bunt defense on. They bit at it a little bit, and Stokely did exactly what he was supposed to do. He called off Padgett, came in backhanded, and got the lead out at third, which is a backbreaker sometimes when you're trying to tack on runs. So I think it's a combination of not giving extra outs defensively, making plays in the outfield and the infield, and then having pitching depth. Like there are a couple other guys, too, that you still haven't seen that I think are good enough to help us win. And you'll see them eventually as well. But yeah, that was why we were able to go 5-0 was because of our pitching and our defense.
You have a lot of power righties in that pen tonight. Some of those lefties came out. A few of them struggled. How are you going to kind of work those in to that pen?
You know, most of the time you don't face 8 righties, which helps lefties as well. And Boaz is only going to get better and better. I mean, you got a kid that hadn't pitched competitively since he got hurt last year, so he's knocking the rust off. He'll have a good outing and a bad outing. He's got that nasty slider. We know Percival can help us as well, but Chewy's good. He didn't have as good a preseason, but Hunter Stokely had a terrible preseason, and he started the season in the 9-hole. So I'm one of those people that I go by what I see today, and I was impressed with Chewy today.
Your 9-hole here today was pretty solid.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, Gavin, his swing's been good. We talked a little bit about before the game making a slight box of adjustments. Credit to him, though. The guys have to do it, and they have to make that adjustment. But I was watching his swings, and I feel like his swing's been in a good spot. And in this game, we're all natured the same. If you're a position player, you all of a sudden you look up and you get off to a horrendous start, quote, with batting average. But then I'm looking more for as a coach, what am I seeing on video? Is his swing good? Is his approach good? Just remind him, hey, don't hunt hits, just hunt having good at bats. And I felt like he had been really, really close. And last week, he had a good week. If you look at what he did last week, close to 300, even though I don't like to talk about batting average, he had better quality at bats.
Team hit 619 today with advancement opportunities. How important is that for them to be able to hit with guys on base if it's not going to be, I mean, obviously we saw the explosiveness today, but maybe not every single game.
That's how you win. You know, if you're better with runners in scoring position when it matters the most, Chad Flack sticks out to me. You know, like his senior year, he just had a bad year, quote, batting average, but he didn't have a bad year when it mattered. He got big hits. And guys that have a knack for that, if you have enough of those, you're going to win a lot of games. Now, obviously, you got to have guys on base to do that. And you have to play like Kepley, like he's a smart player. Get a runner to second base with no outs. He's just making sure if he misses pull side, so we get to third base. Because if you get that runner to third base with less than 2, our team is really good at getting that run in.
What's tomorrow look like after 5-5 with 3 more?
Yeah, it's all for them tomorrow. We have an optional lift. Our strength coach will be in there. We usually have at least 2 lifts a week, but we couldn't get we go Monday, Thursday, because we want to maintain our strength. And guys are different. Some guys need to continue to build strength, and some guys that are already bigger and physical like Kellis, they're just trying to keep what they have. So it'll be a lifting day, a stretching day, foam roller. Our pitchers will do it's all. NCAA, you have to give them an off day, but the stadium will be open, and then there'll be another optional lift somewhere in there. But really, just these guys are young. I remind them, like if you get to decide, like if you're out late at night and you're not eating good and you're not taking care of yourself, well, you're gonna get tired. But if you want to, they all want to play professional baseball, so they better get used to playing 10 games in 10 days. So that's what I remind them of, is the teams that make those better decisions when they leave here also end up being the better teams most of the time.
Same weekend rotation?
Yes, same weekend rotation.
Kane, 2 triples tonight. How much of a plus is it to have that ability in your leadoff spot?
Now, I was thinking about that. How many times have you seen a triple, walk, triple? And one of them might have been in the park if
Why didn't
he hadn't ran into the guy. Well, the rule is if I send him and it's bang bang, then they might call him safe. But if he's out by a lot, he's still out, even with the obstruction. So just made the decision that he wasn't far enough down the line to send him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all. What's up, Dave Nathan?
Coach, good to see you.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, Gavin.
You ready, Aaron?
Yep.
All right, first homer night. How'd it feel?
I mean, it always feels good, no matter what number it is. So it's just nice to kind of, get that on the board and take a deep breath now.
Do you think about how that was your first since the Grand Slam against Long Island?
I mean, not really. A lot of time in between those, so it's a lot of hard work. The past in the past. Just excited that's the first one this season. Yeah.
Maybe not your best start to the season. How do you stay mentally locked in even when every game isn't going your way?
Yeah, I mean, the season's so long that you just got to take it day by day. That's what Coach Forbes preaches. It's what we buy into as a team is the process. And so even when things are going good for you, you got to figure out a way to get it done, whether it's on defense or just finding different ways to get on base. And, like baseball's hard, and eventually it's going to click. So.
And you're not as stellar sitting at the plate. Did you make any swing adjustments, or is it just really loosening up?
I'd say more approach adjustments than anything. A lot of it, I would say, had to do with my timing and pitch selection. So honing in on those things and then just keeping my confidence, I think got me in a good spot.
So you guys went the first few without any home runs, now 5 in 4 games. Could you guys kind of feel like it was coming?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We know what we have as a team, and I think you kind of see that happen sometimes with teams. We saw that last year a little bit. I know that we were hitting home runs last year in the beginning of the season, but we not as many as people wanted us to hit. You know what they say. But then we went on a little stretch about midway point and kind of got hot. And I think the bats are going to start getting hot soon.
Is there any carryover? Obviously, the huge momentum took you to the World Series, and now winning the first 9. Is there any carryover to the momentum from the end of last season, you think?
Yeah, I think the experience is what carries over the most. And when you have a fairly old team last year with a bunch of younger guys that still got to see the field, those guys bringing that experience back here to this team really helps carry over. And so we know what it takes to win. We know what we have to do, and we can help teach that to these new guys to the program.
Forbes talked about one of the plays of the game today was Stokely on that bunt defense and then flipping the ball over to you to get the advancing runner out.
Yeah.
What does that just say to the entire strength of that infield?
I think that goes to show that what we practice every day is important. Once we get into the season where we have 4 games a week, our team defense is super important to us. We work on our bunt defense, our first and third defense, all of that on our main practice day, and it might happen. That might be the only time it happens this entire season, but it just shows how important that is and how serious we take it as a team to be able to execute it in a moment like that.
Obviously, you were playing on the dirt with Alex last season, but he was at second. Now you have 2 new guys that you haven't played with at second and first. Is that a big difference?
I wouldn't say a big difference, no. We spend so much time together. We spend so much time around each other in these inner squads that we're kind of all comfortable with each other. So it's really just about, when we're all on the dirt at the same time. That's what doesn't happen as much. But we know how to communicate with each other. We're comfortable with each other. We're all great teammates, and so it meshes easy.
Last year you were the new guy. This guy gets his opportunity today. Just, walk us through the process of mentoring the young guy, and what do you think of his performance?
I mean, his performance is pretty unbelievable. To do that in your first appearance is pretty cool. And, I can't say that had anything to do with me. We try to help these guys get comfortable, and, we try to mentor them when they need it. But when you got a guy like Perry, he comes in, he puts in the work, and he knows what it takes. And so you see it pay off when he gets his chance.
You took my question.
Appreciate it, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin.
Scott, yeah.
I was going to ask that same question. And you took it.
I need to try my.
I love you.
Where am I looking? Don't worry about
Whoever's
that.
on,
Don't worry about it. I got plenty of content.
Up and to the left.
Any butterflies in your first college game?
I wouldn't say butterflies from being nervous, just, I was excited. I was ready to go and just trying to stay ready and go out there and do my thing and trust what we've worked on for, the 8 months since I've gotten here. It was exciting to get out there for the first time for sure, but just, I trusted what we had done and I trusted that our coaching staff had prepared me to be ready in the moment. So.
Coach Forbes talked about that you have been ready. How do you stay mentally prepared, mentally ready to go, even if your name isn't on that starting lineup card?
I think a lot of what Gav said rings true with this too. Just trusting the process of what we do every day. Going into it with as long as we're winning, I'm happy mentality, and that's exactly how I've always been raised up.
And as long as we keep putting wins in the column, I'm happy, and I'm trusting just what we do every day is going to get me ready to be ready in the moment that I need to be. So.
Did you expect to get in today? Coach Forbes has talked to us about wanting to get you in the lineup. Did you expect it today?
I mean, I try to expect it every day. I mean, I want to go out there and help us win in any way I can. And even when I'm not in the lineup, I want to find ways to help us win. And I think that's important, is bringing energy when you're not in there and being involved in the game, because there's ways that you can help a team win that doesn't go on the score box.
Do you hit a lot of home runs in high school?
I mean, I wouldn't say I hit a lot. I'd say sometimes I run into them. I never try to hit one. So, and I definitely wasn't expecting to hit one today. But I just try to go and do my thing every day. Trust the approaches that we've been preached on, and just trust the plan that we have for any given day to go up there and have success against an arm. So.
How did that home run feel today? Was it surreal at all?
I'd say it still doesn't quite feel real yet. But, you know, it was exciting in the moment, but at the end of the day, it's over, and then tomorrow's a new day, and we got, you know, a good lift and Stony Brook coming in here, so we're just excited to get going and keep working and, you know, hopefully keep adding wins. So.
I know you were shortstop out of high school, but Coach Forbes has talked a lot about you in the outfield. Has that been any big adjustment?
I guess I was listed as a shortstop in high school, but honestly, I've always tried to play everywhere. Just because I know that Division I baseball is a hard place to be and it's a hard place to play. So, anytime that you can give versatility to a team and you know, help them win in any way you can, whether that's playing outfield, playing infield, getting a bunt down, pinch running, just bringing something to the table that helps the team win. And I've always tried to be versatile, and that's helped me not be uncomfortable necessarily whenever I go out there and have to play an outfield. So.
How many Nick Saban videos has Coach Forbes sent you this season?
A good bit, but the funny thing is the most common ones we get is Coach Saban and Jocko, the Navy SEAL. And I actually loved Jocko before I got here, so it was kind of funny. But Nick Saban and Jocko have really had their impact on this team, and I love it. It's really, really keeps you with an even head, no matter what happens. Just trusting the process and knowing that each day is a new day. So.
Thanks, Perry.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thanks, guys.